Doing something bad right now is not helping. It's not only misfeasance, it's malfeasance. I'm sorry, but this is a bad deal. Let's go to this Wall Street Journal article. Had the best summary I've seen thus far of it. And we'll go through the takeaways calmly, and I'm going to tell you why this stuff is a bad idea. And more importantly, I'm going to leave you with what I think is a good idea and what I'm getting from some people and what I hope people will consider. By the Wall Street Journal editorial board, virus relief, but new business burdens. The House bill imposes paid leave mandates that may never go away. Ladies and gentlemen, how is this going to help your small business employer? I'm not sure how this is going to help. Let's get to it. No time to waste here. I got a busy show today. Takeaway number one, this House bill, again, was passed by the House, not passed by the Senate, has not made it to the president's desk. I'm hoping the Senate fixes this debacle. The House bill includes some sensible emergency health measures, including waiving insurance copays for diagnostic testing and treatment. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest here. Back to the piece. Nothing in healthcare is free. Nothing. There is no such thing as free. There's no money fairy. So don't be surprised if private insurers raise premiums next year to make up for the cost. Having said that, we're in a crisis right now. I get it. Maybe not the soundest of economics, but if that's what's going to solve the problem right now, waiving copays for people who don't have money to go get tested, okay, I get it. All right. Back to the piece, part one. Treatment and testing, ladies and gentlemen. It's important. We don't want people running around out there for treatment and testing and not getting treated because they don't have the money. So treatment and testing costs for the uninsured would be covered by the federal government. Folks, again, there is no such thing as a free lunch, but this is one of those crisis situations where if there are people out there who don't have insurance for whatever reason, they've been laid off from their job, they don't have insurance for their kids, they can't afford it. It's been a member of my family who called me about this the other day. I'm obviously not going to say who, but if you think you have the coronavirus and could spread it, folks, I'm sorry, but this is one of those collective crises where, yeah, we're going to need someone to step in. And that may be us collectively through our tax money. I get it. Again, it's not free. We're all going to pay for it later in the form of either higher taxes or premium increases. Anyone who tells you otherwise is delusional. Stop using the word free. Delayed payments, whatever you want to call them, it's not free. There's no such thing as free. Having said that, I don't think this is the worst idea in the world right now. Again, you have my email. It's on my website. We always love to read your feedback. Fine. You disagree? I understand. I'm a small government, conservative who believes in big R God-given rights. Having said that, we are in a crisis right now. I don't want people running around in this crisis who don't have the money for copays or anything else not getting tested. It's a bad idea. Let's go to takeaway number two from the Wall Street Journal piece. This House bill, folks, it's a no. I'm sorry. It's a disaster. Do something does not mean do something bad. Quote, Wall Street Journal. Less targeted portions of this bill is a 6.2 percentage point across the board increase in federal payment rates to states for Medicaid reimbursement. Folks, this is a terrible idea. It goes on. All states will get additional Medicaid funding regardless of how much they spend fighting the coronavirus. What? Who thought this one out? This will help state budgets if tax payments slow, but it would make more sense to compensate states directly for the coronavirus-related costs. Folks, again, this is what's so frustrating being outside of the D.C. bubble. I know why you're doing this, because the Democrats love Medicaid, and any excuse to piss away and flush down the toilet, any taxpayer dollars, they'll take it. And candidly, to rhinos too. This is a terrible idea. Why are we bumping up across the board Medicaid funding to states that may not be having a severe crisis like Washington, California, and New York? Why are we doing that? West Virginia right now has no cases. Maybe we should prioritize Florida, California, states. Why would you do an across-the-board payment? It makes no sense. When are we going to start viewing money as a scarce good and stop pretending the money fairy exists? This is a really stupid idea. Across-the-board bumps in Medicaid funding to everyone? Why? Why? Shouldn't we be triaging our payments based on the places that need it? I mean, how does this not just make basic sense? Moving on. Another bad idea in this bill. This thing, ladies and gentlemen, waiving work requirements. This is a terrible idea. Quote, most spending in the bill is intended to mitigate financial hardship and relief in a crisis, which is a proper role for government. There's a quote from the piece. Not my words, theirs. States will be able to request federal approval to dole out emergency food stamps and waive work requirements. Fine. Most provisions expire at the end of the calendar year when the public health emergency declaration is lifted. But the political temptation will be to make this permanent. Big mistake. Ditto for the bill's 26 weeks of extended jobless benefits. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, this is a bad idea for a total of 52 weeks. I know a lot of you are yelling, hold on, I have an idea for this. Please, extending it to 52 weeks in states with that see unemployment bump up over 10%. Folks, it's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. We have to start viewing public funds right now in a triage fashion. This goes on through the summer. We could be blowing a hole in the federal budget we will never be able to repay. We're already $22 trillion in debt. We have to be smart about this. Waiving work requirements. Okay, now I get it. For food stamps, fine. But that better sunset. But extending unemployment benefits now, I think, is a bad idea.
You just heard The Dan Bongino Show. You can also get Dan's podcasts on iTunes or SoundCloud. And follow Dan on Twitter 24/7 @DBongino.